moving to an old Victorian house on the outskirts of town was a dream come true. The house, with its intricate woodwork and stained glass windows, had a charm that instantly captivated me. I was eager to restore it to its former glory, imagining the history and stories embedded within its walls. During my first few weeks, I was busy planning renovations. The house had an eclectic mix of antique furniture, and among them, a large, ornate mirror in the main bedroom. It was framed with dark wood, intricately carved, and the glass had a slightly tarnished look that added to its mystique. I decided to keep the mirror where it was, feeling an inexplicable attachment to it. The nights in the house were peaceful. I enjoyed the solitude, using the quiet evenings to unwind with a good book or some music. The mirror in the bedroom, though old, was fascinating. Its reflection was hauntingly clear, and I found myself drawn to it, often losing track of time while staring into its depths. One night, as I was getting ready for bed, I noticed a flicker of movement in the mirror. It was brief, just a shadow passing behind me. I turned around quickly, but the room was empty. I laughed it off, blaming my overactive imagination. But something about that mirror began to quietly nag at me. The first real incident happened a few days later. I was brushing my hair, looking into the mirror, when I saw my reflection smile. This wouldn't have been strange, except for the fact that I wasn't actually smiling. The smile my reflection gave me wasn't warm or friendly. It was cold and mocking. I froze, my heart pounding. I moved my hand, and the reflection followed, but that twisted smile remained. I turned away, feeling a chill run down my spine. Determined to shake off the unease, I focused on my work, but the memory of that smile lingered. After that, I avoided looking directly into the mirror, afraid of what I might see. That week, I decided to research the history of the house, hoping to find some explanation for the strange occurrences. I discovered that the house had once belonged to a woman named Eliza, who lived there in the late 1800s. She was known to be reclusive, rarely seen by her neighbors. There were rumors that suggested she was obsessed with mirrors and believed they were gateways to other worlds. Intrigued, I dug deeper and found old photographs of Eliza, often with mirrors in the background. Her intense gaze in those photos reminded me of how my creepy reflection had looked that one night. There was definitely a resemblance between Eliza and my other reflection. As ominous as Eliza's photos were, I began to feel a strange connection to her. I wondered if her spirit might be trying to communicate with me through the mirror. Soon, there were more incidents with the mirror, each more chilling and unsettling. Oftentimes, I would see my reflection move independently, mimicking my actions, but with some kind of sinister twist. One evening, I saw my reflection tilt its head and whisper something. No sound came out, but the movement of its lips was clear. It was speaking to me. I decided to confront the reflection. Standing in front of the mirror, I watched as my reflection stared back, its eyes filled with malice. "Who are you?" I demanded. The reflection's lips moved, forming the word Eliza. My heart raced as I realized the truth. Eliza's spirit was trapped in the mirror, using my reflection as a conduit. It took a while, but I eventually got to sleep that night, However, at some point, I woke up to the feeling of being watched. The room was dark, but the mirror glowed faintly. My reflection was standing outside the mirror, its eyes fixed on me. I screamed and turned on the light, and the reflection vanished. The next day, I reached out to my friend, Anna, who was knowledgeable about the paranormal. She listened to my story with a mix of fascination and concern. "You need to find out what Eliza wants," Anna said. "She's clearly trying to communicate with you." Anna suggested looking for a personal item that might have belonged to Eliza. I searched the house and eventually found an old journal hidden in a drawer. The journal was filled with Eliza's thoughts and obsessions with mirrors. She believed they were portals to the soul and spent years experimenting with them. The final entries in the journal were a bit fragmented, describing her attempts to communicate with the other side. She mentioned a plan to perform some kind of ritual, but the details were vague. Her last entry hinted that if something were to go wrong, her spirit would be trapped. Anna and I set up a camera to record the mirror at night to see if we could capture any unusual activity. The footage revealed something chilling. At midnight, the reflection in the mirror would change. In the reflection, we saw me asleep in bed. But next to the bed was a figure standing beside me, Eliza. We reviewed the footage repeatedly, each time feeling a deeper sense of dread. Eliza's presence was undeniable, and she seemed to be growing stronger. Determined to free Eliza's spirit, we devised a plan. We set up candles and placed Eliza's journal and a photograph of her near the mirror. I stood before the mirror, addressing Eliza directly. "Eliza, I know you're there. What do you want?" I asked. The mirror's surface rippled, and Eliza's reflection appeared. She looked at me with pleading eyes, then pointed to her journal. I opened the journal and turned the pages until she directed me to stop. The pages contained a detailed account of her final experiment. Eliza had attempted to open a portal using a specific incantation, but something had gone wrong. Instead of opening a portal, she trapped herself in the mirror. The journal mentioned a key, a small, ornate mirror that Eliza had used in her experiments. If I could find this key, I might be able to reverse the process and free her spirit. The problem was, the journal didn't specify where the key was hidden. Anna and I searched the house, looking for any clues. We finally found a small, ornate mirror hidden behind a loose brick in the fireplace. It was tarnished with age, but otherwise intact. With the key in hand, I prepared for the final attempt to free Eliza. We set up the candles, the journal, and the small mirror in front of the large mirror. As midnight approached, I felt a sense of anticipation mixed with fear. I began reading the incantation from Eliza's journal, holding the small mirror up to the larger one. The air grew colder, and the reflection in the mirror started to change. Eliza's figure appeared, reaching out towards the small mirror. As I finished the incantation, the large mirror began to ripple and glow. Eliza's reflection moved closer to the small mirror, her hand reaching out. I held my breath, hoping the ritual would work. With a final burst of light, Eliza's reflection vanished, and the mirror returned to normal. The oppressive atmosphere in the room lifted, replaced by a sense of peace. I knew Eliza's spirit was finally free. In the days that followed, the house felt different. The oppressive presence was gone, replaced by a sense of tranquility. I no longer felt watched or tormented by my reflection. The mirror, once a source of fear, was now just an old piece of furniture. I continued to live in the house, cherishing the peace I had found. I kept Eliza's journal and the small mirror as reminders of the experience, a testament to the connection we had shared. Life slowly returned to normal, but the experience left a lasting impact on me. I had faced my fears and helped a lost spirit find peace. The house, once a source of dread, had become a place of solace and reflection. I felt a sense of closure, knowing that I had helped her find the peace she had been seeking.